All right. I had to turn that mic on. What is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay. And we are back. And this time we are doing an official podcast. Normally, I would be sitting over on my racing cockpit, running GT7 in the background and just talking. But this time I'm doing an official podcast because I want to talk about the recent happenings, namely with State of Play. And, oh, shit. Yeah, I got dust in my mouth. Sorry about that. And let me make sure I can be heard, too. Recent happenings, namely with State. Okay. I think I can probably turn the microphone up a little bit, so bear with me for a second, folks. There we go. And I'll have to keep manually replaying this because I don't know how to set this in the loop. I didn't feel like downloading this trailer, so once the trailer's up, I'll just hit the replay button and go from there. So start off by apologizing. I normally on Mondays or Tuesdays I would stream the new daily races for GT7. Yesterday I was playing mostly Sifu. And then today I was going to do a daily race, but this was like really wearing on my mind all day. So I decided that I'm going to make up for it tomorrow. I promise. Tomorrow I leave work at 11 o'clock and then I'm off the rest of the week. So what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to stream both a GT7 daily race and a low fuel motorsports daily race and knock them both out. Because, again, I'll be off the rest of the week. I leave work tomorrow at 11 a.m. So I just got to go take care of a couple of things concerning my son's car. I'm getting ready to get him ready for life. You know, my brother gave him a car, so I got to go get it registered and all that kind of stuff. So I got to take care of that tomorrow when I get out of work. So the recent State of Play, Sony, boy, oh boy, did they kind of set the world on fire. Now, so the big talk, in my opinion, of that State of Play was that Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to PC. Now, I did stream the State of Play live, and I did catch the part about Spider-Man going to PC, but I missed the part about Spider-Man Miles Morales going to PC. So I don't know if that was like a small disclaimer at the bottom of the screen, or I was too busy reacting to Spider-Man going to PC that I totally missed Spider-Man Miles Morales going to PC. I don't know, but I wanted to make sure I got my facts straight before I speak on this. And yes, you know, Spider-Man is coming to PC August 12th, and Spider-Man Miles Morales is coming to PC in the fall. My thought originally, what's going on, Jay Wags? How you doing, my guy? Originally, my thought was, no, I'm not going to buy these games because I already have Spider-Man. I bought it for the PS4 Pro. I have not downloaded it to the PS5. I really didn't see any point in it. Not only that, I was trying to conserve space on my PS5. However, I did buy Miles Morales. I bought that for PS5, and I have not played that because my son played it, and I think my son played both Spider-Man and Miles Morales, and he didn't finish them, but he got like 3/4 of the way through both of them, so it kind of put me in a weird spot. Fatal Charade was good. It put me in a weird spot where he was too far into the game for me to start over, but not far enough that I felt like I could take over and finish the game, especially with me not being terribly familiar with the controls. I'd have to get acclimated again with it. So, but I changed my mind. I am going to buy these games, both of them day one. Number one, this because I would have the best version of both of those games, especially given the PCs that I have. I have two monsters PCs, which you guys have heard me say a million times. One with a 3070 Ti and the other one with a 3080 Ti. So either of these PCs will have more than enough power to run Miles Morales and the Spider-Man remastered. So I would be getting the best version possible on PC, and God, this still looks good right now. So I think it's probably going to be kind of hard to tell the difference with the naked eye because this shit looks so damn good on PS5 anyway. I'm enjoying all this pony salt over PC port announcement. Okay, so I'm going to get to that. So anyway, with PC, the other reason why I'm going to buy these games day one on PC is because of VR. It's not a matter of if, but when somebody does a VR mod for these games. Because the VR modders, in my opinion, they're giving us what Sony should have given us a couple of years ago. And it is because of the VR modders that the state of play that we just recently had last week, while the stuff they showed for VR was good, I wasn't impressed with it because either we already have it on PC or we will have it on PC. Let's see here. Fatal Charade. Imagine Spider-Man with real ray tracing in DLSS and FSR. J-Wags, I hope they just bring them all over day one so I can be done with console. Oh, I'm telling you this right now, J-Wags. When the Gears of War collection comes out this fall, both me and my son are going to pick that up. Once we pick those up, we are completely done with our Xboxes. I have the Xbox One S. My son has the Xbox One X. Once the Gears of War collection comes out, my son wants to sell his Xbox One X. And I told him keep it for two reasons. One, it's not going to be worth anything. Two, if his PC ever crashes, he can still, keep the One X for backup. But mainly, we want to be able to play the Gears of War collection on PC with the highest frame rate and the highest resolution. So I could definitely tell you that when the Gears of War collection come out, we are definitely done with our Xboxes. Same deal, for the most part, I'm already done with Xbox. I think it's been 2 years since I last had an Xbox Live membership, and I'm not paying for it anymore. And I think I said the only reason why I haven't sold my Xbox One S is because it ain't worth shit. Other than that, yes, it would be long gone. But same deal. I'm just gonna keep it as backup. Been done with Xbox. I feel you, bro. I still have my One X just sitting on the shelf. Man, I use my Xbox One S for YouTube. Truth of the matter is, my PlayStation Pro is also in my bedroom with my Xbox One S, and that's not getting much play either. The only time I use it is when I'm going to play a PSVR game, and then my PS5 is not getting that much use for that matter. At the moment, the only time I really use my PS5 is whenever I feel like playing ACC on PS5 or GT7. You take those two racing games away, and no, I'm not getting any use out of my PS5 either. But that was to be expected, being that the main reason I bought a PS5 was for PSVR 2. So that was to be expected that I wasn't going to get my money's worth out of the PS5 until PSVR 2 launches. So coming back to Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remastered, coming to VR, as I was saying, it's not a matter of if, but when. Because the VR modders, in my opinion, more likely Luke Ross or Prey Dog, one of those two is going to, if not both of them, are going to mod both of these games. It's just a matter of how they implement the VR mod. So in the case of Luke Ross, when he does a VR mod, the game is in VR, but in a lot of cases, you're still using a controller. You know what I mean? You're still you're still using one of these controllers, whether it's a PlayStation controller or whether it's an Xbox controller. In the case of Prey Dog, if it's possible, he'll make it so you can use these controllers and have the use of your free hands. So, because he did it with the Resident Evil VR mods, I think he did all 4 of them: Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and Resident Evil Village. I think he did a VR mod for all 4 of those games, and all 4 of those games give you the use of these Quest controllers where you have your free hand and you don't play it like this. Because like his VR mod for the Resident Evil game, one thing is slick about that. Like Resident Evil Biohazard, like if you get injured, instead of pushing a button to pull up the menu to select your healing potion or whatever that is, or your medicine, you just reach behind your back and pull it out, and then you can physically, pour the medicine on your arm and heal yourself. When someone's attacking you, you can put your arms up. You can physically put your arms up and block whenever somebody's attacking you. And Caleb Kaiser, PC gaming is niche. Well, you would be right about that, but there's obviously some money in PC. Otherwise, Microsoft and Sony wouldn't be touching PC. I mean, Microsoft is whatever little games they got, they're giving them to you day one. Whereas in the case of Sony, they're still trying to sell you a console. So naturally, I think Sick Humor said it best. The PlayStation 5 is now an early access box. So for most of these games, it's not a matter of if. Now it's starting to look more like when we get them. So it's mostly modders and hackers. I can't speak to the percentage of how many modders and hackers are out there. The modders, thank goodness for the modders, because you could see that as a bad thing, but the modders have given us in the VR community. They've given us what Sony should have gave us a couple of years ago. I got to take you guys back and tell you that I was a hardcore PSVR guy, and I still love PSVR, but PSVR was lacking in some areas. I've said it numerous times. They were lacking multiplayer games. They were lacking racing games with VR support. They were lacking first-person shooter games, and I went over to PC, and I found all of that over at PC, and from there, I just went down a rabbit hole. And, here we are, a couple of years later, and I've spent over $8,000 building 2 gaming PCs and a racing cockpit. And so technically, I still have 3 PCs. The third PC is still in the bedroom. That's basically an office PC. But yeah, I got two beasts of a gaming PC. Fatal Charade. People got to take into consideration a big chunk of PS5s are in scalper warehouses. That's a good point. Now, I will get, I don't care for Richard Review Tech, but I will admit he did say one thing that made sense. Yeah, bro, went to PC. I can't go back. Yeah, Jay Wags, I think you said you got a 3080, right? But quickly with Richard Review Tech said, people thought that Sony didn't care that the scalpers were getting the PS5s. All they cared about is that somebody bought them and they got their money for them. But he said that's not the case. Sony does not want those consoles in the hands of scalpers, because while they're sitting in the hands of scalpers, they're sitting in a box not doing nothing, and that means people are not buying games for them. Rich said Sony wants those consoles in the hands of consumers so they can get that money off of people buying games for them, so they can get that software money. I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Now the console versus PC thing, I'm gonna get to that in a second. I'm just about ready to wrap up this VR part. Um, but we already, as I was saying, that what we're getting now, what the VR modders have given us over the last couple of years, is what Sony should have gave us a couple of years ago. It was one of the reasons why I was pushing so hard to do my part to help VR get to the mainstream, because I figured if we get VR to go to the mainstreams, we'll get Spider-Man and God of War and maybe a Madden, NBA 2K, Modern Warfare, I mean the Call of Duties or whatever. Maybe we'll get those in VR. Now the VR modders, one thing unfortunately though is they can't do the multiplayer in VR. They can, but you could get cracked by the the anti-cheat. Case in point, we have the ability to play Grand Theft Auto in VR on PC, but you can try to play Grand Theft Auto in VR on PC, but if the anti-cheat picks it up, you'll get banned. So the modders do warn you, don't try to play it online. But yeah, you can play the campaign in VR. There's you said you beefed up my processor, 5900X, okay, and you got a 3070. Hey, this computer right here that I'm just sitting at, it had a 2070 in it, and I just put a 3070 Ti in it. And then you guys heard me say it a million times, that PC out there has got a 3080 Ti in it. And then I got pretty good processors in it. This computer right here has an i7 11700K, and that one has an i9 12900K. So yeah, so coming back to the state of play, what they showed us was good because it's finally getting the VR ball rolling, and it's finally getting us to where VR is getting ready to go mainstream. But I wasn't impressed with it because the VR modders have already, between, in one way, shape, or form, we've already got everything they showed us with the exception of Horizon Call of the Mountain. Resident Evil Village, they showed that. We're already playing it in VR. I streamed it last week. Resident Evil 4, the remake. Now, you have the ability to play Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus Quest right now. And this isn't VR modded. This is from Oculus themselves. You can go within the headset. You can go to the store, to the Oculus store within the headset, buy the game, download it into the headset, and play Resident Evil 4 in VR. It's the original game though, but it's been formatted for VR. I've streamed it before, so if you want to go through my library and check it out, I've got a couple of Resident Evil streams in VR. I did the Resident Evil Village stream in VR about a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, the screen isn't exactly centered. And then the Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus Quest, I streamed that a couple of months ago. So if you want to check them out, just search through my library. Just type in Resident Evil. You'll probably see a few. You'll probably see a few of them there, and they're all in VR. Fatal Charade, the anti-cheat wouldn't let me play online GTA 5, and all I had were graphics mods. Yeah, that don't surprise me. It'll pick them up. So that's the one thing I will say, that is, like, a lot of us in the VR community, we feel that it's a given that GTA 5 is going to come to PSVR 2. The one advantage of playing GTA 5 on PSVR 2 over PC is that it will be official. And if they do the VR thing, if they do the online thing, it'll be official, so you won't have to get cracked by the anti-cheat. So all that being said, that if assuming GTA 5 comes to PSVR 2, I will buy it because I won't. Oh, you know what? That's going to be a sticky one right there. Because if Rockstar goes out of his way to bring GTA 5 to PS5, PSVR 2, they're also going to bring it to PC too, unless Sony pays for the exclusivity. Same thing with Modern Warfare 2. The rumor about that getting VR support for PSVR 2. And we know how greedy Activision is, especially being that they're about to be acquired by an even greedier entity in Microsoft. So if they give Modern Warfare 2 VR support on PS5, is definitely going to get it on PC as well. So all that being said, it's another reason that I'm making a point that I don't have to wait for PSVR 2 to get a lot of the stuff that we're already getting. So you again, going back to the stuff that they showed at State of Play, I'm already playing Resident Evil Village in VR. No Man's Sky has been out on VR for the last couple of years, and you can even play that on the current PSVR. Darkest Saw, what's good, my guy? And Caleb Kaiser! Having a game format for VR versus having a game developed for VR is not the same. Format VR is fake VR. It's still VR. It still allows me to play VR, and because of it, I don't have to wait for PSVR 2. And so if you want to look at it that way, you could make the case that the VR modders are getting us by until the AAA publishers start putting native VR support on these games. But if they don't, it won't be at the end of the world. Matter of fact, my good friend Gamertag, you know what? I'm going to show you guys this video. Just a minute. I'm going to pull it up. Oh, damn, he playing tennis in VR. You know what? Let's check that out for a minute. And I'll even give you guys some sound. After the commercial goes off, I'll give you guys some sound. So sit tight, Caleb. This is my boy Gamertag. I'm going to go ahead and give it some sound because I like to think that...
What is up, everyone? Today we are checking out first-person tennis, the real tennis simulator. I've not done any of this game, so let's do some training. I like blue. I like the blue. I am right-handed. Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Here, let me turn off the camera too.
You should do automatic run, manual run, fixed direction, controller direction. Fixed direction might be using the headset. I hope it is anyway.
Turn off the camera so you can see them.
I bet that's cool. Oh shit! What was that? What the? Is that? Okay. What? This actually feels pretty bloody good. You know, I'll go advanced. I'm gonna go advanced, man, because I'm up for this. Done it for miles per hour, which is obviously what I understand. So let's do a new tour. Damn, look at me. Oh, there's 22 of them. Why are the heads so small? That looks like sadly it's Bradley. Don't know what he's doing in this game. Yes. Oh, it moves for you. Okay, bit like Wii Tennis. That's probably... I think everyone's going to prefer that.
So we'll get to the Resident Evil
makes
in a
it a
second.
bit arcadey, you know, you just concentrate.
Hold on a second, folks.
On the
second service.
What was wrong with that? Ah!
Oh! Love 30.
Who shouted that? Am I winning?
Love 40.
Not 40. Oh no, I'm not. I'm losing. Maybe I need to start bloody making the noises, dude.
I'm gonna have to check that out. But let's let's check out his Resident Evil 7 mod.
You shouldn't have done that!
Dude.
It fucking hurts!
I need to get a heart rate monitor for this stuff. Today we are checking out Resident Evil 7, the Prey Dog
He's got
VR
the use of
mod.
his free hands.
I can tell you, as someone who's completed it on PSVR at least 3 or 4 times, having arms in this is a game changer. graphics are superb. It's running really, really well. The only thing I had to turn off was subsurface scattering. That was it, because otherwise you get like some reflections that look like ghosts and stuff. But yeah, so far, dude, mega impressed. And not to put down the PSVR version, but the fidelity in this is brilliant. It's such a higher quality picture. And just like standing, like I feel like I'm standing in the game. Yeah, it's really good, man. It's really good.
Ah, fuck!
I was actually reading a post the other day. I think originally they were sort of quoted in saying like PSVR had the exclusive to Resident Evil 7. And it was going to come out like a year later on PC. Just can't go over the imagery.
Look
the
at that.
imagery
The use of his
amazing.
free hand. It turned off the water.
Damn it. But the good thing is as well, it's
Use
exactly
of his
how
free
I
hands.
remember
It opened the
You know,
it
and
opened the
that's
refrigerator.
how you know like a VR mod is amazing. This feels real. This feels like the real thing. All the buttons feel right. I think it's going to be a bit scary like this. Like I feel like Ethan now. I don't feel like on PSVR obviously it was really, really immersive. I'm not saying it wasn't. But having hands and being at the right height. Is fantastic for me personally. I never really played PSVR games standing up because, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I needed to.
Okay.
The future of our species is at great.
Oops. I had to mute that so I don't catch copyright.
And the head tracking worked fine, you know. This is brilliant. Like, this is brilliant.
So I'm trying to what I'm trying to show everybody, Dark and Saw, is that
Detail, mate. The detail is astonishing.
hold on a second.
I don't know if you guys remember, RE7 come out with a... Oh, yeah. It come out of a demo. And there was, like, this demo. I remember everyone playing it over and over to find, like, extra hidden stuff. And one of the...
Okay. I'll go ahead and leave it there. And let you guys continue to see that. You know, yeah, it was just hands, J-Wags, but the point being is he has his free hands. Whereas if you play it on PlayStation VR, you have to play it with a controller. Hold on. So, point being is that if you play Resident Evil 7 on PlayStation VR, you have to use a controller. He's using his free hands with this, and that came from a VR modder. And because of that, he's absolutely adamant that this is a better experience than PlayStation VR because you're not playing with this controller. You're using your free hands. And shoot. Sorry about that, folks. And I say that now, when assuming Luke Ross or Prey Dog mods Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales, because of the way the fighting is in that game, Luke Ross, in all likelihood, if he mods it, you're going to have to use the controller. Prey Dog, on the other hand, if he can find a way to make it work, then he'll make it so you can use the move controllers or the touch controllers. So, and I would say that when Spider-Man Remastered releases August 12th, I think it'll probably take a week, 2 weeks for Luke Ross to do the VR mod on it. You know, unless he's tied up on some other projects that he's got to finish. Just, you said that's what I meant on PSVR. It was only hands, no arms. See, but even still though, even if it was just hands, my point is I can deal with the just hands things. My point is that on PSVR, you have to use this controller. You can't you don't have any free hands on the PlayStation VR version. You have to use this controller. Whereas with this VR mod, the VR mod has made it possible for you to use your free hands. So, you know what? Let me, while you guys continue to watch that, let me move my camera over. All right. So I'll keep it over there and let you guys continue to watch Gamer Tag. So if you should happen to see this Gamer Tag, what's up, my guy? There we go. So yeah, because of that, whether it's fake VR, whatever you want to call it, we're going to get to play it in VR first. And we won't have to wait until first quarter of 2023 or first half of 2023, what have you, before PSVR 2 comes out. And that's another beautiful thing about the VR mods on the racing games that I play, most namely Assetto Corsa. I can get any car, any track for free, and I can race online against a full grid in VR. Whereas currently on the current PSVR, we've got GT Sport with a very, very limited VR with time trials and one-on-one versus AI. So, now, this part is going to be very short. So this is pretty much the last part. It's going to be very short and it's going to be very direct. So Spider-Man Miles Morales going to PC. Let's switch back so I can put you guys back in the mood. Okay, so we're back to Miles Morales, so I can put you guys back in the mood. So Spider-Man going to PC has sparked up the debate again from every angle. Some people say it's cool. Some people don't like it. Some people made a console versus PC war out of it. And that's kind of the part that I want to address. Because I will admit, PC people was, for a minute they was hollering at PC master race shit and they was hollering console peasant shit and all that stuff. I'll admit that. And, console gamers responded by saying, yeah, you guys build $3,000 PCs to play some simple strategy games and you want the console exclusives. That would be true. I think the extent of how true it is probably depends on how many PC gamers you talk to. I think there's over 2 billion PC gamers out there. And, I don't know what percentage of them wants the console exclusives on PC. I'd imagine it's a good amount of them. So saying that PC gamers are begging for the console exclusives, yeah, you would be right. But at the same time, I think the console gamers are the pot calling the kettle black. Because while they're sitting there talking about how PC gamers want the console exclusives, the console gamers want the PC power. Because if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have had the situation with the original PS4 being more powerful than the Xbox One, and in the PlayStation side bragging about it. You wouldn't have had Sony and Xbox creating the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X. And as a matter of fact, when the Xbox One X came out, Microsoft and Mr. Phil Spencer was using so many buzzwords and so much hype and so many lies that he had people thinking that the Xbox One X was more powerful than the PC. And we see how that turned out when they showed PUBG running at 17 frames per second and showing State of Decay with screen tearing. So, and now you have it happening again, with both, in my opinion, both Microsoft and Sony using buzzwords and hype and stuff like that, and had people thinking that the PS5 and the Xbox Series X had about as much power as a 3080. If you think a PS5 and the Xbox Series X has as much power as a 3080, you lost your mind. I've conducted some personal tests myself, and there's no way a PS5 or a Series X has the power of a 3080. Based on the personal test that I have run, I would say the PS5 has the power equivalent of a 2060 or a 2070. And then when I Googled it, my thoughts were pretty much confirmed that that yes, the PS5 has about as much power as a 2060 or a 2070. I guess it's just that slower clock speeds. So here we are. If nobody cares about power, why do we have rumors of a PS5 Pro coming about, as well as some Xbox Series Elite or whatever that shit they're calling it? So you said, bro, State of Decay makes me shudder. So yeah, so that's the trade-off. So that being said, the next time a console gamer goes screaming that, yeah, you want our exclusives, the PC people can say, yeah, but you want our power. They want the power of a PC, but they still want the plug and play aspect of a console. They want PC power, but without the complications of a PC. And so, that being said, that's not to knock the consoles down, because I still think that, from a power standpoint, I still think the Xbox Series X and the PS5 are still great value for the money. I still think for $500, you may not be able to build a PC that can do what those two consoles can do for $500. I think in order to build a PC that can do what the Series X or the PS5 can do, I think you're going to spend anywhere from $800 to $1,200. But I will say this: with Sony moving closer and closer to moving these games over to PC, the PC is going to end up being the all-in-one device where you can play all your games, and you're going to get the best version of those games. Now, people talk about the high price of entry with a PC, how much you have to spend to buy a PC and how expensive it is. As far as the point of entry goes, you would be right. But when you stop and think about it, a PC will save you more money in the end, especially if Sony's going to continue to put their games on PC. And I say this because I've said this, my boy Josh, I said this on his Twitter space. So again, it'll cost you $800 to $1,200 to build a PC that can do what a Series X or a PS5 can do. Well, let's flip this around. The PS5 costs $500. So let's start off by saying, the PS5 costs $500. If you're a person that wants both consoles, now you've paid $1,000. $500 for the PS5, $500 for the Series X. You've paid $5,000 right there. You've already paid the cost of a PC, and you're getting the weaker versions of the games. And you're paying for Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus every year, which is $60 a year per console, which means you're also spending $120 a year just for the privilege to be able to play online, which you don't have to pay for that on PC. Not only that, games are cheaper on PC. They drop in price faster on PC, and there's way more outlets to get games at a discounted price on PC. With sites like G2A, Humble Bumble, CD Keys, and etc. You can get games pretty cheap. Case in point, I just bought Sifu a few days ago. The game retails for $40 at the Epic Store. I went to G2A and got the game for $23. And that being said, it was worth every penny at $23. Really great game. I really love Sifu. It's frustrating because I'm getting my ass kicked, but it's a good game. But still, the point is, on PC, I'm playing the best version of the game, performance-wise, visually, and I only paid $23 for it because I had more than one avenue to get it. So in the case of if you're playing Sifu on the PlayStation 5, there's only two ways to get it. One is at the PlayStation Store, or you can buy, if there's a physical version of it, you can buy the physical version for it, but you have to wait until somebody has a sale if you want to get it for less than $40. J-Wag, same people who argue the price of entry will buy the PS4, PS4 Slim, PS4 Pro, then PS5 over the course of the generation adds up to a beast of a PC. Yeah. And with the PC, you know, you can upgrade it as you see fit. If you buy a PS5 and you don't think it's got enough power, well, now you got to wait 2 or 3 years for Sony to come out with a PS5 Pro. Whereas with PC, you know, if you buy it and you feel like you ain't got enough power, you can upgrade it immediately. And that's basically what I've been doing over the past couple years. And so it's, you know, shit. I'm loving my situation. I mean, you know, as far as like, I got too much shit. I got too much damn shit. You know, these Oculus headsets. I've got 2 Oculus Quests. I've got my Oculus Rift, which is in the other room. I got my PlayStation VR. I got both of my PCs, my gaming PCs. I got a third PC in the bedroom. I've got my Xbox One S, my PlayStation Pro, my PS5. So I'm in a wonderful position, and both of my PCs are beasts. This PC that I'm sitting at right now, I built it with the intention of being a streaming PC, but to be a gaming PC on the weekends when my son comes over, because before I built this second PC, whenever my son came over on the weekends, I had to give him that PC in there, and I basically couldn't play anything until he left. But now that I built this second PC, when my son comes over here, he jumps straight on this PC. He loves this PC right here because he loves the convenience of it. He can hop right in this chair, grab a headset, and play his games sitting right from this chair. Or, you know, he could play his flat screen games too. You know, his Gears of War 4 and 5 or whatever from this PC. And I put enough power in it that it can get the job done tenfold. Fatal Charade, I have a PC that uses the GTX 1070, and that card is good till this day. Yeah. I mean, see, I don't think I've been gaming on PC as long as you, Fatal Charade. So when I bought my first PC, it was a cyber power PC, and it had like a Ryzen 2700, you know, CPU in it. And it had a 2070 that took a crap. I returned it and got a replacement. The replacement PC took a crap like 2 weeks later. And then from there, I took that back. They gave me my money back, and I used that money to buy my Alienware that I had for a few years. And then, long story short, when the Alienware, I upgraded the Alienware, put a 3070 in it, and then the Alienware took a crap. So the 3070 that I had in the Alienware, I gave it to my son and took the 2070 back and originally put it in this computer. Built that one in there. You guys know that one, 3080 Ti, blah, 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 blah. And then I built this one, and I took and I replaced the 3070, the 2070, and put a 3070 Ti in it. So Sacred Go. Let me see here. J-Wags, gotta go, Clay. Good insights. You my go-to guy for VR. Peace. Hey, same to you, man. You know, until I see you again, my friend, Wakanda forever. Fatal Charade. I always tell people nowadays that if you're going to build a new PC, make sure your CPU has at least 8 cores, 16 threads if it's being used for gaming. I like, now my PC in there with the 3080 Ti, it's got an i9 12900K on it. This PC right here with the 3070 Ti on it has an i7 11700K. Now, I was warned by Ham that like the 11th generation Intel CPUs, I guess, are garbage. See, but I made a huge mistake when I built this PC. I bought the wrong motherboard. I bought a motherboard for like a 9th and 10th generation CPU. So my choices were take it back, which they didn't have any, 9th gen motherboards. So if I would have had to order it and I would have had to wait a couple of weeks for it. I didn't want to wait. So I just went ahead and kept that motherboard and just broke down and bought the 11700K. Let me see. Sacred Grove, I think I said what's up to you, how you doing? And Fatal Charade, you said I built my first PC back in 1997. Hey, I'm way late. Because the PC in there with the 3080 Ti, that's the first PC I ever built. And that was intimidating because I got $3,000 in that PC. I bought all kinds of shit for that PC. And it lights up like a damn carnival. So it was wires for days on that PC. So it was a little bit intimidating. But with the help of my friend Ham, I was able to build it, and it's good. This PC right here, it was actually fun building this PC right here because by then I wasn't scared anymore. So it was actually a lot of fun building this PC. I actually want to build another one. What I want to do, like, I don't know if I'll do it this year or not, but what I want to do is build a PC with the same specs as a PS5, but try to build it as cheap as possible. So I would start with trying to get my hands on a 2060 or a 2070, and then, get an M.2 drive, 1 terabyte, get the RAM. I don't know how much RAM a PS5 has. I think it might have 12, but I'm not sure. So all that good stuff. Said the entire Comet Lake and Rocket Lake lineups were garbage. Said if you think that's intimidating, imagine having to manually set up every IRQ. Caleb Kaiser! When people talk PC specs, components, I just zone out. That's why consoles will always be superior. It's simple plug and play. Consoles are convenient, not superior. Not trying to take it to that PC master race shit, but PC is depending on how you built it, a PC is a superior machine compared to a console. And trust me, I was a dude that defended, I was a dude that defended PSVR, and I defended consoles with my life. I defended PS4 to the bitter end. So I get how you feel. Because the fact of the matter is, it's because of Sony that I went to PC. As I said before, it's because what PSVR was lacking. The first-person shooters, the multiplayers, the racing games with VR support, with full VR support. And I'm not talking about a VR mode. It's because of all that made me go to PC. And when I first went to PC, the PSVR as well as console gaming was still my preference. But over time, it just, now PC are just a full-blown PC. But I can be honest to say that especially the PS5, those PS5 exclusives look so beautiful that if somebody said, I don't want a PC, I'm getting a PS5, I was like, hey, totally understand. Totally understand. Let's see here. Sacred Grove, right. PSVR made me look into PC gaming for the first time in my life. Thank you, Sacred Grove. It's what it lacked. Not only that, the PC games looked better. They weren't blurry because PlayStation VR was blurry. Now, granted, my first PC headset was the Oculus Rift CV1. It was a little bit blurry, but it wasn't near as bad as PSVR. And then over time, the headsets got better and better. You know, then I got the Rift S. It was 1440p with a little bit of screen door, but it still looked much, much better than the PlayStation VR. And then with this Oculus Quest, the screen door is damn near non-existent. And then it really ain't no sweet spot. Everything, you know, your peripheral visions, all that shit is clear in this headset. Said, Fatal Charade, if you're going to build a PS5S PC, you're going to need a Ryzen 7 3700X, RX 6650 XT, and M.2 that does 500 megs per second, transfer rate, 5,000 megs per second. I tell people all the time, if your budget is $500 or less, get a Series X or PS5. Yeah, I totally agree. All I want to do is and I don't even have to build it. I can just look into it and just, and just do a pick list and see how much it would all come up to buy parts that are the equivalent of the PS5 and see how much it would cost. I think a PS5, a PC that's the equivalent of a PS5, I think if you want me to be more specific, I think you're going to end up spending somewhere between $1,000 and $1,200. So with that, I think I'll get ready to book you on out of here in a few minutes. This was really cool. First, what I consider a real podcast. Because the streams that I was doing from GT7, it was like a podcast / GT7, but I think it would have been easier to keep you guys' attention if I would have did a real podcast versus me sitting on GT7 and people wondering if am I going to talk or am I going to race. I wanted it to be clear that I'm talking. So, Fatal Charade, you're essentially going to be buying a PC for PS5 scalper prices. You would be right. This trailer still looks amazing. That being said, I can't wait to see this on either of my PCs, and I can't wait to see it in VR. Because right now, we've got a ton of games through the VR modders. We've got a ton of games that we can play in VR. Prey Dog just did the Resident Evil mods that I just described. I think both Prey Dog and Luke Ross did an Elden Ring VR mod, so we can play Elden Ring in VR. There's a VR. Luke Ross did a Red Dead Redemption 2 VR mod. I think he also did the Grand Theft Auto 5 VR mod. I streamed Alien Isolation. I don't know who did that mod before. And then over on the Oculus Quest, we have Dr. Beef, who does VR mods over on the Oculus Quest. And thanks to Dr. Beef, I've been able to play Doom 3 before the PSVR version came out. I've played Doom 3 in VR. I've played Return to Castle Wolfenstein in VR. I've played those were the two games. But he's done more than that. But those were the two that I played. And the beautiful part about it was I was able to go to Steam, because you have to buy the game. You have to buy the game from Steam because you need to get the APK file or something. You need to get some kind of file from it. You need to extract some kind of file from it. But I think Doom 3 ended up costing me like $4 on Steam, and I think Return to Castle Wolfenstein ended up costing like $3 or $4 too, and the mods were free. So Fatal, you can cheap out on the motherboard and the case, but everything else is going to cost you at least a good $800. I would agree. So like right now on eBay, the 2070 is going, like, starting bids seem to be at about $300, but they seem to be selling for roughly between like $450 and $500. And so I paid scalper prices for my 3070 Ti. It retails for $600, and I paid $675 for it. And then my 3080 Ti, it retails for $1,200. I paid $14 for it. So yeah, I gave it to the scalpers. But it wasn't the ridiculous shit like it was a year ago, where 3080 Ti's was costing $2,000 and shit on eBay. So, damn, it's not as late as I thought. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna get ready to take off here in a little bit and play some more Seafood, but I'm not gonna stream it. I already streamed it 3 days in a row. But I'm also gonna get some practice tonight on a set of Corsa Competizione, so I can do the daily race. So yeah, that is my promise. I was supposed to do the GT7 daily race today, but I really wanted to talk about this. Because honestly, I feel like it's a little bit of hypocrisy with the console people screaming, yeah, you PC guys want our exclusives, but yet the console people want the PC power. They just want the plug and play aspect of it. So for how much 3070 Ti's cost nowadays, you could buy a 3080. As far as the Nvidia cards go, Fata Charade, it goes as follows. You know, starting with the 3070. The 3070 is $500. 3070 Ti is $600. 3080 is $700. The 3080 Ti is a big jump. It's $1,200. I think the 3090 is 18. I don't know. It might be 1,800, and I think the 3090 might be 2,000. Those were the prices, but the prices that I just mentioned, those are going to be the prices of the 4,000 cards, or within the ballpark. You know, some of these, expert PC analysts on YouTubers, I call them experts because they know way more than me. You know, people like Graphically Challenged, he's estimating that like the 4080 is going to cost likely $900, because he sees, he's implying that Nvidia sees the scalpers getting over on people, so they're going to want a piece of it. So rather than pricing the 4080 at $700 or $800, he thinks they're going to price it at $900. So, I don't know. And from what I'm understanding, that the 4090 is supposed to have double the power of a 3090. The 4080 is supposed to have like, I think like 45% more power than the 3090. And I think the 4070 is supposed to have 15% more power than the 3090. So even if you get the bottom of the barrel and get a 4070, you still getting a very powerful graphics card. You're getting a beast. Those must be the prices of the Founders Editions. I see the 3070s goes between $600 and $700. The 3080s go between $750 and $900. For the most part, I'm referring to the Nvidia prices, and yes, the Founders Editions, because all the graphics cards that I bought 3 graphics cards in less than a year. I bought a 3070, which I gave to my son, this 3070 Ti right here, and this 3080 Ti in the next room. All of them are Founders Editions. So, but the prices that I ran off are, yeah, pretty much the Founders Edition prices. And I'm talking about retail, not eBay prices. With the 40 series, they must be wanting to target 8K gaming. Now I can't remember if I heard this shit right, or somebody saying that the 4090 is gonna be able to do like native 4K, 240 frames per second, some crazy shit like that. Depending on the game, when you stop and think about it, it will be possible. Because just recently, with my 3080 Ti, I benchmarked Rainbow Six at 4K, and it averaged out at 135 frames per second. Minimum was 122, and max was 148. So the cards I got from my videos were all sold and shipped by either Amazon or Best Buy, but they're all from AIB partners. Okay. Yeah, my 3070, I basically hit the lotto. I basically got a lottery ticket to get that shit, long story short. But I bought that brand new from Best Buy. The 3070 and the 3080, the 3070 Ti and the 3080 Ti, yeah, I bought those off eBay. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up here. And today, this stream here, I walk away from this stream feeling like I said everything that I wanted to say. I mean, there's sometimes I do a stream / podcast, and then when I go back and watch the replay, I'm like, damn, I forgot to say this, or I should have said that. I think I walk away from this one feeling pretty good about what I said. So, for example, when I made the 3060 Ti video, it was a PNY card that I got from Best Buy. Every other card was brought from Amazon except the 3050, which was bought from Newegg. Okay, cool. So with that, I am going to boogie on out of here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And we will see you all tomorrow when I stream GT7, the new daily race. We've got a Group 3 race at Red Bull Ring. And I will stream the Low Fuel Motorsports daily race for the 25-minute race. This is at Barcelona. So I'm going to get some practice here. Right now, I'm going to grab a bite to eat, grab a short nap, wake up, get some practice in on the track, and then come back and play seafood. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate the chat. Fatal Sherrod, Caleb Kaiser, Jay Wags, Sacred Grove. I appreciate all you guys, carrying on the conversation. It was definitely good. I really, really appreciate it. So with that, we will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, you guys know the line. Wakanda forever. Long live the king, and deuces. We'll see you all soon. Have a good one, everybody.